Finally, our wait is over. We finally have our long-awaited Ice Mommy, Jingliu. I believe many people are waiting for her for many reasons. For me though, 2 reasons why I waited for her is because 1, she beat up Yanqing in both story and her character trailer, and 2, she will power creep Yanqing so bad that I don't even need him anymore. Now, I can finally move on, so thank you, Wheelverse. Now let's talk about her character. Jingliu is a 5-star ice destruction character. What is unique about her is that she gains a Seasoning stack when she uses her skill and ultimate. In the normal state, her skill will only hit 1 opponent. When she possesses at least 2 stacks of Seasoning, she will enter a special state called Transmigration State. Her skill will become AoE, just like Blade's enhanced normal attack. Not only that, but also, she will get her turn advanced by 100% when she enters the state, and she gets a 50% crit rate bonus at level 10 talent, which enables you to build her really easily and stack more crit damage. In addition, you gotta keep in mind that each of Jingliu's enhanced skill attacks will consume the Seasoning stack instead of skill point and 4% of her teammate's HP to buff her own attack. The maximum attack buff she can get depends on her base attack, which is from her character's level and her Lightcone base attack. For example, assuming you have both her level and her signature Lightcone at level 80, then her base attack would be 1261. At the talent level 10, her attack buff is capped at 180% of her base attack, which is 2269. Remember that she takes 4% of her teammates' max HP every time she uses her enhanced skills? It means that we need to build her teammates with a little bit of HP in order for her to reach the maximum attack buff. For the max attack buff, her teammates needs a total of 10,500 HP or 3,500 HP on average. You also can mix and match by having a really high HP character like Fushan with some lower HP one like Tingyun. Another thing you can do is when you're using Bronya, you can take out the Wind Orb and switch it to HP to help you reach the HP threshold. For her talent priorities, it goes from skill, talent, ultimate, and base attack. Her skill and talent are her bread and butter, so be sure to level those up first. Her ultimate also has high multipliers, so it should be your next priority. You can just ignore her base attack because if you want to play her optimally, we should always use her skills at every turn, so she can get her Seasoning stacks. She gets 9 speed, 37.3% crit damage, and 10% max HP from her nodes. Interesting thing about Jingliu though is that she has higher base HP compared to Blade. Although she has 96 base speed, she gets 9 from her nodes, so it's gonna be sitting at 105. Her ultimate cost is 140, so we gotta keep that in mind. Next, we're talking about her bonus ability. While in the state, you get 35% effect res. Effect res is always good for DPS because at worst case scenario, we lose a turn if we get CC'd, which is a DPS loss. Effect res value scales heavily if you have high amount. If you have little amount, it's quite useless, but this trace gives her a good baseline for effect res, leading to any rolls you get on stats being more valuable. Next, we have, after using Transcendent Flash, the next action will be advanced forward by 10%. This bonus ability is not so important as Transcendent Flash is the unenhanced skill name, so you don't really need to put this into consideration when you're doing speed tuning. And the last bonus ability says, while in the state, increases ultimate damage by 20%. Anything that helps us deal more damage is always great. Her signature Lightcone at S1 gives us unconditional 20% crit damage, a total of 42% damage increase when she drains her teammates' HP, and additional 12% defense penetration. Without this, your Jingliu will lose 14% or more of her damage potential. This ends up making this Lightcone really strong, being around 10 to 15% increase from her second best option, leading it to be one of the strongest DPS Lightcone in the game. To help you understand the table here, on the fall of the Aeon S5 is the base, which is why it says 100% there. On the fall of an Aeon is her second best option overall and provides the most consistent damage boost for Jingliu. Not to mention that you can get this completely free on the Herta shop. This Lightcone automatically makes Jingliu a free-to-play friendly character. If by any chance you've got Imbibitor Lunae's Lightcone without getting him, then you can also use this Lightcone for her. It is a good stat stick because of its high base attack. You can also use Blade's Lightcone for the stat stick. It also gives you unconditional 18% crit rate and max HP to help your Jingliu survive better. This Lightcone will deal around 1% less damage than Imbibitor Lunae's signature. For the 4-star option, a Secret Vow is the best amongst all the other 4 stars. Assuming it has 0% uptime on its passive, it is almost on par with Blade's signature for Jingliu. R5 the Moles Welcomes You is also another viable 4 stars. Assuming we never use basic attacks on Jingliu, then it will deal 1% less than Secret Vow. Next, let's talk about her relics. The Quantum set is her best conditional best in slot. This is because it provides a whopping 20% defense rate if the enemy has Quantum weakness. We already know that Jingliu has a lot of attack and crit damage on her kit, so defense rate is going to benefit her more than attack set. Without the Quantum weakness, it is going to deal 1% to 4% less damage than the Ice set, depending on if you have Pella or Silver Wolf in Jingliu's team to apply the defense rate. The second best in slot is obviously going to be her Ice set. This is because it is not dependent on the enemy's weakness like the Quantum set. You just need to ult and you can get free 25% crit damage for 2 turns and unconditional 10% ice damage bonus. It will deal 4% to 7% less damage than the Quantum set if the enemy has Quantum weakness, but it will deal more damage than the Quantum set if the enemy doesn't have Quantum weakness, making the set more consistent than the Quantum set. But if you do have Silver Wolf, then you can choose either Quantum set or the Ice set depending on your situation. I don't like anything conditional, so I would definitely go for Ice set. Maybe it's just me. Let me know in the comment section what set you're going for. And if you do not have full Quantum set or Ice set, you can also use 2-piece Musketeer and 2-piece Ice. You need around 1 to 2 crit damage substats to make it on par with the full Ice set. For the boots, you want to go for speed main stats because you want her to get the seasoning stacks as fast as possible. However, if your attack boots have better substats than your speed boots, then it can be on par with your speed boots or even better. You can also speed tune your Bronya to work together with your Jingliu. If you're using speed boots on Jingliu, then you want your Bronya to have 134 speed and optimally 135 speed on Jingliu, so that Jingliu can use her skill, Bronya takes a turn, increase the action value of Jingliu to have her immediately enter into her states. If your Jingliu is using attack boots, then you want to try reaching 164 speed for your Bronya. If you can't achieve any of those, that is totally fine. That was a little piece of information for those sweatlords who wants to min-max in a game that has no PvP, like me. For the body, you want to go for crit damage because Jingliu will get free 50% crit rate when she enters her states. So she just needs a maximum of 50% crit rate for her to reach 100% crit rate. Reptilian Arena is her best in slot because it boosts skill damage by 20%. To fully activate the passive, we just need to get 12% crit rate because Jingliu will get 50% crit rate when she enters the states, and then we are getting 8% from the set itself. Her second best is going to be the Space Sealing Station, and the last one is Inner Salsoto for extra crit rate and ultimate damage boost. So ultimately, you want to go for ice damage bonus for the orb and attack percentage for the rope. Now, let's talk about her team. Jingliu, Bronya, Pella is her best overall team core for most consistent damage with little to no drawbacks. Jingliu, Bronya, Tingyun will deal more damage than the first team, but the skill point issue on this team is real, and realistically you won't be able to maintain full uptime on things such as Tingyun's skill, as you simply can't maintain the skill points to do it. With things such as E1 Bronya and her signature Lightcone, you can still make this team work. Jingliu, Pella, Tingyun. This is the most F2P obtainable Jingliu team, which trades some damage for it being significantly easier to play than the first two teams, as you basically have no skill point issues and you can run more skill point heavy sustains like Lynx or Bailu with no issues at all. Jingliu Bronya Blade is the best version of dual carry in the game at the moment. You can just damage boost whoever favors the weakness. And if you don't like picking the favorites, then you can replace Bronya to Pella, because Pella can just simply AoE defense shred. Jingliu, Asta, Pella is probably the most accessible out of the teams, as you get Asta for free and Pella works pretty much perfectly at E0. This team isn't the best damage-wise, but if you don't have anything for Jingliu, this should work just fine. And if you don't want to care about any kind of elements, then you can use this team: Jingliu, Silver Wolf, Fushuan, or Lynx, and Pella. Since you only have 2 Quantum and 2 Ice characters, the RNG for Silver Wolf's skill is less than usual. She's also a very strong debuffer for Jingliu in general, and Fushuan buffs her even further. But I wouldn't recommend this team against content where the enemy is weak to ice already, as it doesn't utilize Silver Wolf fully. Silver Wolf can be swapped out for Pella in a lot of teams, but she mostly only benefits Jingliu's single target, compared to Pella, who benefits Jingliu in all aspects because she can AoE defense shred, so keep that in mind. And let's move on to the sustain characters. Locha. He is a very skill point positive character because he can heal without using any skill points. Lynx. She will be another great option as a healer if you have enough skill points for her to sometimes use her skill. Fushuan. It is possible for her to solo sustain, and that is without her signature, as long as you don't drag out the fight out completely. She is arguably Jingliu's best sustain in terms of boosting her own damage, as she provides 12% crit rate. To minimize team's damage intake, she can run a taunt Lightcone like Lando or Jeopard's signature to soak up all non-drain damage. Natasha. If you don't have either Locha or Lynx, you can use Natasha because we get her for free. She works kinda like Lynx because you will need to provide some skill point for her to use her skills from time to time. Gepard. His sustainability is also not as good as Fu Xuan as she provides huge damage mitigation and can heal herself. That's why I don't really recommend Gepard to be used in Jingliu's team, unless it is really your choice. Bailu will also work similarly to both Lynx and Natasha, minus the cleanse, so you make sure to spare some skill point for her. So when you're considering any of those characters, you gotta make sure that all those characters are built correctly, and also, characters that scales off of HP like Bailu, Natasha, Fu Xuan, Lynx, they will definitely help you meet the threshold for the HP for your Jingliu to get the maximum attack buff. And let's talk about her Eidolons. Her E1. This basically lets Jingliu gain additional damage to adjacent targets. In a single target, this allows her to do damage of skill and AoE in a single target. This greatly amps her damage versus bosses or any lone enemy left on the field. Additionally, it also boosts Jingliu's crit damage in her enhanced state by 24%, so even outside single target, this Eidolon is still buffing Jingliu. Overall, her E1 is generally really good when it works. The bonus damage you're getting from this E1 in a single target, you're getting 40% increase, and against multi-target, you get 7 to 8% increase. E2. This increases the damage of Jingliu's next enhanced skill after she uses her ultimate by 80%. In a general Jingliu rotation, you will get her ultimate really early into the battle, giving her first enhanced skill a big boost, letting her front load enemies with the ult E skill combo. This ends up averaging about 6% increase overall, but you will definitely feel the extra damage on the enhanced skills. E4. This just means that you're draining extra so that you can get more attack bonus, but that's about it. And E6. This makes her ultimately more fun to play as she can nearly have full uptime in her state, and it also buffs her own damage by quite a lot. So you can say that either go E1 or E6. Because when you're investing extra to your character, you want to see something different, right? Yes, extra Eidolons will help you do more damage. If it doesn't change so much visually and playstyle-wise, it's not gonna be worth it, right? So E6 is gonna be really good if you can wipe off your ass with cash. If not, you can shoot for E1. So compared to other existing characters, in AoE, she is currently the best unit in the game. And in single targets, she's really great, but Silly and Invitrine will outclass in a lot of cases. However, if you have E1 Jingliu basically turns into the best single target DPS when the condition is met. But the bosses will probably spawn their minions later, so it kinda evens out with other DPS in the game. But I still feel like Jingliu has higher potential in the future because as of now, she doesn't really have the right team yet. If Hoyoverse releases a new character who can provide her with more energy regeneration, then her value would go up a lot since she will have better uptime on her special state. As we have seen from her team comps, she works with almost all of the supports available in the game right now. This means that there's a very high chance that she'll work with future Harmony or Nihility characters. So my opinion on Jingliu? If you don't have enough DPS, then you must go for Jingliu. I feel like she's gonna be an easy S tier character in the future, but let's see how this video ages, okay? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video as I have put more effort and a lot of information in compared to other videos that I have done before. So let me know in the comment section what you like about this video, and make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel with the alarm settings on, and I'll see you in the next video.